Welcome, minion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I've no idea what I'm watching. I've been trying to find the stream that's coming on YouTube, and I couldn't. You can't hear the feed. I found this on Twitch. Can't hear me and the alerts. The music's off key. Okay, can you guys hear me or not? Can't tell. You can hear me. Okay. So, isn't it supposed to be on YouTube as well? I can't find it on YouTube. I cannot find on the Bethesda channel YouTube. You can only hear me. What's weird is you heard the music. You did. It's a premiere, not live. Oh, so it's not live on YouTube. How do I find it then? How do I get ready for it on YouTube?
Welcome,
Crazy Talk,
minion.
thank you for the resub. Bethesda Softworks channel. I'm on that. I'm on Bethesda Softworks channel. They don't have anything live yet. Is it under the posts? Bethesda Softworks is live now. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, I see it. I see it. There we go. It's slightly better on YouTube, I think. Let me just... because it's better quality. Should definitely mute one of them. Yeah, no, it's... okay. It's kind of loud.
When this began, I don't think any of us imagined what it would become. In December of 2020, a year many of us long to forget, the seed of an idea was formed. What if one community of gamers, in one voice, all over the world, joined hands and in the face of disease and despair, of horrifying living conditions, and the crushing pessimism of a modern world, and said no, and did something about it? The game was Fallout. The community was all of you. Through December 31st, we cordially invite you to join over 400 streamers from all over the world who are assembling in the name of children fighting for their lives this holiday season at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Hide the chat. I don't... If I do that, does it close it forever? Why do I have to hide the chat? I want to see what people are saying.
War never changes.
Now I can't see what they're saying.
Hope? Hope can save a life. Learn more about Fallout for Hope at falloutforhope.com. We hope you'll join us.
We'll take a cup of kindness yet for the days of old.
You definitely got to hand it to the Fallout community in general. It's
They've given me hope.
a thing.
They've given me my son.
Oh. I mean, we all love Elder Scrolls. But for some reason, Fallout just... What's weird is when Bethesda took over Fallout, Fallout was a really tiny little niche game. Whereas Elder Scrolls was really quite established at that point. They'd had Morrowind, which was a massive hit, and then, of course, Oblivion, huge hit. And then they took over Fallout. And I still think Elder Scrolls is bigger, at least on their single-player games. Mind you, I say that? I'd have to look at Fallout 4 versus Skyrim and just double-check that. But I do think Skyrim's just still the big boy for them. But I can't help but feel that Elder Scrolls 6 versus Fallout 5, that's going to be a hell of a battle. Kill the dog! Just to annoy Todd. Yes, I'm still salty about that, Todd. Some of you are not going to get that reference.
Let's go, pal.
On October 23rd, when we heard that sound, we went underground and found a vault life
I'm getting real...
waiting for us. Come
Is that my
leave your trouble on the surface. It's Fallout
Okay, this is really annoying. Come on. No.
sound.
Now it's... What the hell? Ugh.
For us come one day. Leave your trouble on the surface. It's Fallout Day.
Yep, it would seem that YouTube is having issues. Twitch is better. I'm thinking it's better. I'm going to switch to Twitch. It'll be worse quality.
Razzle dazzle.
No, don't cover me up. Promise I'm not a diva.
We've got a packed show ahead of us with details about big anniversaries, some awesome community events, major updates for Fallout Shelter and Fallout 76, and even a surprise message from some special friends.
That's not bad quality on Twitch,
Be sure to stay tuned after the broadcast, when we'll be joined here in the office by our friends from Fallout for Hope for an amazing live stream post-show.
Proceeds from the live stream will benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Fallout for Hope is so close to reaching their 2025
It's only 1080p, but it doesn't look too bad, to be honest.
Donations, and we're going to do our best to help them get there. If we reach that incredible milestone today, we'll be giving away the player title Hopeful in Fallout 76 to celebrate.
We want to thank Ken and the entire Fallout for Hope team, not only for that awesome pre-show, but for always being an example of why the Fallout community is the very best.
Happy Fallout Day, and we'll see you a bit later in the broadcast.
So what are we thinking they're going to announce? Anything interesting, or is it just going to be a whole heap of...
All right, and over here is our kitchen, and then over to our right is our audio bay, and then on over here is our VO room. Okay. Oh,
Going to be a bunch of creations. Let's hope it's some good ones. Although I don't know why. I've just not got I've not got... Oh, I love this opening scene. I gotta say, the Fallout 4, like...
10 years. It's been 10 years since Fallout 4 launched. We had spent
opening
months
scene
preparing the video
with the
assets
vaults.
that we were going to show at
Very
the Dolby
cool.
Theater.
I'm gonna
And
show
I
it.
remember going to the Dolby and walking in there and seeing it for the first time and just being amazed at how big it was. And then watching as fans stood in line, streamed in, wearing their costumes, just so excited. They had no idea what we were going to say, but you could tell.
I thought that was a
right, what they
cosplayer
all
then.
hoped for. And I remember sitting
The
there
Vault Boy.
and watching and waiting. I knew exactly the pacing of how it was all supposed to work, and I was getting very nervous. I freely admit that. And
They're going to break Fallout 4
when
even
the
more.
first
They
video
can't.
played and the audience
Well, it won't
erupted,
matter.
it was
More
one of
broke than
truly
broke
the
is
most
still
moving
broke.
moments of my entire career, and I often
Oh,
think
she's talking about the
that
Fallout 4
it is
announcement.
at that moment that I truly understood how much everything we do here at Bethesda Game Studios means to the fans out there. But I'm not just here to reminisce.
Remember, the vault doors are sealed for your safety.
This, I love this. For some reason,
Do not attempt
this
to reach the
bit
surface.
just always
The surface
gives
is
you
unsafe.
chills. Yeah, Fallout 4 wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was still a good game.
Wasn't the world I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in.
We need someone who can bring the whole Commonwealth together in a common cause. And I think you've got it in you to be that leader.
Fallout 4 remaster. Oh, that would be hilariously funny. I tell you what, those of you who've not done a Fallout 4 run with Sim Settlements 2 installed,
How would you describe your time on the inside?
I'm going to get my son back. I'm going to find him.
I believe the term is Yahoo.
Another beautiful day.
Game of the Year only in Bethesda's minds. Yeah, to be honest with you,
place in the world.
I liked Fallout 4. It was good. But Witcher 3, I'm sorry, it was no competition. Witcher 3 was Game of the Year. Fallout 4 is great just about RPG. Disagree. It is an RPG, and if it's a good game, it's a good RPG. What's wrong with it is nothing to do with not being an RPG. There's a whole heap of stuff wrong with it, unless you're using some weird personal definition of RPG.
The end of the world. All over again.
It's a good game, it's not a great Fallout game. That would be the better way I would describe it. It's not as good as Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, or Fallout London.
A special anniversary means a
But it's
special
nothing
edition.
to do with it not being an RPG.
To celebrate Fallout 4's
and
10th
everything
birthday,
to do with
we've
just
created the Fallout
lots
4
of design
Anniversary
choices
Edition.
that they
This will
made
contain
that I
6
disagree
official
with.
add-ons, including the Automatron, Bar Harbor, and Nuka World story add-ons, plus the Workshop add-ons.
In addition to the add-ons, the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition also includes over 150 pieces of Creation Club content, including some previously unreleased items to supplement your adventures. And now with this anniversary, we're taking your experience to the next level, because creations are coming to Fallout 4. That means you'll see even more new content coming to the Commonwealth.
FL4 is not an RPG.
The Fallout
I am
4
not even
Anniversary
talking to you
Edition
anymore.
will feature a brand new
Weird
in-game
conversation.
creations menu on PC and console to help you easily discover, download, and enjoy content from professionals and enthusiasts alike. Our creators are among the best, most talented, and imaginative communities in gaming, and we're so grateful for the dedication and love they've shared over the years. We're always looking for ways to support and build those close community relationships, which is why we're proud to provide a path for creators to go from hobbyist to professional through our Verified Creator program. Many of our creators are already working on amazing new content for Fallout 4 that we're all excited for you to enjoy.
Do you have anything
Soon,
big though?
You'll be able to bring a slice of the Mojave Desert to the Commonwealth.
Is there a
or
King
take
Gaff
on the Beast Hunter
Productions?
and Deathclaw Rex. Or maybe you prefer an escape room experience.
And non-essential personnel, safety the end.
Interact with a mind's eye version of your spouse, voiced by the original actors, and experience emotional moments while earning unique equipment and rewards. I can't wait to see what our creators come up with next.
And the best part, the Anniversary Edition is coming on November 10th. Switching gears a little,
That it is.
in addition to this special
Anniversary
anniversary
edition.
release, Fallout 4 is making its way onto a Nintendo console for the very first time.
Sorry, don't care.
The Switch 2 edition of Fallout 4 is coming in 2026. We need to talk about another beloved Fallout game with a major anniversary this year.
One of the greatest privileges in my over 30 years of making games has been able to work on Fallout.
It has been, somewhat incredibly, 15 years since the launch of Fallout New Vegas.
15 years?
That was...
Really?
Josh,
how did I get to be so old?
It really was a dream come true to be able to work on a Fallout game.
It's an incredible honor to have worked on a game that fans still play, still talk about, and still cherish.
Have a happy Fallout Day.
Ring-a-ding, baby, and happy Fallout Day.
Happy Fallout Day. Go play Fallout New Vegas.
No!
Thanks.
No, don't be giving them a cameo and not announce New Vegas 2!
And to celebrate this significant
Worst
milestone,
stream showcase ever in history. Everyone involved needs to be fired right now. You all need to be fired. Not listening to you. I'm going to mute you.
Whether it's the Commonwealth or the Mojave, we look forward to joining you in the wasteland
No, you
again.
did it. For a second, I thought to myself, no, there's a collaboration? Because I didn't think there was going to be, even though people are always talking
Sounds
about
good. I've got a meeting with Level Design, so
And then there was like,
information a little later.
When I grow up, I'ma be a supermodel. Mommy says I'm talented. I know that I can handle it. When I grow up, I'ma be a supermodel.
What the hell is
Mommy
this?
says I'm talented. I know that I can handle. I'ma be a supermodel. Plastic doll, rock and roll, hunky dory.
Okay, what is this, guys? What is this? What am I looking at? Oh, no. Obsidian has their own showcase, maybe they announce it there. You would have to announce that on Fallout Day.
Where'd you come from? Where's Richard? Is the show over?
No, not even close. Richard said something about seeing a man about an axolotl, so I'm here to talk about some big community events happening this year. Hi, I'm Danielle Bartholomew. Let's dive in with your personal favorite, Jess, Halloween Horror Nights.
There's nothing I love more than a haunted house. And Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Orlando Resort are going all out for Fallout this spooky season. We actually got to check out the Fallout Halloween Horror Nights event, and it was amazing to see two of my greatest loves in one creepy bundle.
Jess says amazing. I say haunting, but tato tato. Grab your tickets
Is
now
this a
before
hostage
this
video?
radioactive experience ends on
I'm sure
November
these are
2nd.
very nice people, but
On a slightly
I swear
less
someone's got a gun
terrifying
pointed at
note,
them.
Have you ever wanted to see Vault Boy on a Zamboni? If you're in the Austin area, October 25th is your chance.
I mean, I feel
Join us
sorry
for
for
the
them.
second Fallout night for the Texas Stars.
But
We'll have decorations, Fallout-inspired food, minus the radiation, or not. And obviously some special giveaways for attendees, plus much more.
And if the cold isn't your thing, maybe take a trip to Good Springs, Nevada for the 4th annual community-run Pioneer
This is one of those
Festival,
things that,
celebrating all things
you know,
Fallout.
I would always have
This
wanted to
festival
do,
runs
to
from
be
November
honest.
14th through November 16th, and
This
this year it's bigger than ever.
seems very, very
There'll be
cool.
a cooking competition, car show, a film festival, incredible fan-made cosplay and props, and so much more.
It's like being in the world of Fallout, but, you know, without all of the life-threatening danger. And just down the road from the Pioneer Saloon, we're partnering
You are
with
asking
the
for a
Atomic Museum in Las Vegas.
lot of jokes
The
there,
influence of
miss.
the atomic age on pop culture still resonates today. The World of Fallout exhibit at the Atomic Museum opens in November and will let you experience Fallout's alternate history in a totally new way.
See artifacts from the Fallout universe, and our own, to learn about the inspirations and origins of the franchise. And who knows, you might even gain a few points for that in special.
Check out our social channels for more on all of the Fallout events.
Am I done? Can I go pet dog meat now?
Am I done? Do I get to live? I don't get these. Are these supposed to be funny? Am I missing a meme? Dogs teaching calculus.
Hey, look, we really get into our games here at Bethesda Game Studios.
Fallout Shelter is also celebrating our 10th anniversary this year.
Fallout Shelter, of course.
When we shadow dropped Shelter in 2015, we had no idea how big it was going to become.
This
We're always looking for ways to improve the game, and we've had
was actually a really good idea.
Content for quite some time now.
I remember when they
And
announced
anniversary
that.
felt like the perfect moment to reveal it.
Seasons are coming to Fallout Shelter. This is our biggest update to the game since we launched in 2015.
Does anyone mind if I pause this, or does anyone really want to watch this?
Vault-Tec is known for running secret experiments on different vaults, and that's where we got our inspiration for seasons. Each season will be like a different Vault-Tec experiment.
I loved this when it came out, and they just announced it. It's a free mobile game and everything, and it was we get it to play for a few weeks before Fallout 4 because it was a really short announcement as well.
New challenges.
Then I thought this was just genius. This was amazing. It was the perfect way to announce a mobile game, even though it had little microtransactions in it. It was just perfect.
Build a better, and sometimes weirder, future underground.
These seasonal vaults run for a limited time and are totally separate from your normal vault building experience. That will always be there.
Everyone will get access to the same starting vault at the same time. The reward you earn during the season can always be brought back into your original vault. And if you want extra rewards, each season will
Seasons,
also have
battle passes, you think? Yeah,
As
no.
you progress.
Thank you to all of our players for the over 230 million downloads
Why they
since
didn't
launch.
announce
We
Fallout
still
5
can't
with the
believe
show,
it.
I'll never know.
You know,
Elder Scrolls
I
6
actually
is
still
ticket.
have my original
Fallout
vault
5
from
is
10
a
years ago.
jillion
Original
years
vault.
away.
Can I try it?
No.
I got ideas.
It's a gajillion years away. Fallout 5 is going to be, I'm going to reckon, 2035 earliest. Unless they split studios. I keep saying this. Unless they split studios, we are not getting a game more than every 5 years, 6 years or something.
Hey, have you heard there's a pig in the office?
Oh, good. They got my memo. That was one of my green room requests. I actually haven't.
You think
seen it yet,
2032? I think.
Well, we'll look for it
I
later.
think 2032 will be the last Elder Scrolls
We
6
sure
DLC.
do.
Or
We have a
3031
ton of
maybe.
76 to get through, so let's go. Lightning round. Kill that. We've got this. It's been a great year for Fallout 76. Last December, we introduced the Gleaming Depths, which added high-level raids and 4-star legendary items.
We've also brought some
Fallout
very friends to our
76.
camps and have some very interesting thoughts about what we can add next.
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
Players who were tired of having smooth skin got to live out.
Yeah, sorry. Fallout 76, just, I'm not. Again, I've got nothing against it, and I know it's got a lot of people who love it, but it's just not my. It's not my thing. It really is not my thing. I want to play.
June we launched the Gone Vision update, which let players
I want to play, you know, single player games. That's what I want to do. So there you go.
favorites, axolotls.
Splitting up the main studio versus buying an MMO studio are kind of different. Oh, is someone trying to blame 76 for why we haven't got more games? No, 76 is a totally different studio. It's not the reason why any of the games have been delayed. They would have to actually double the size of Bethesda, basically, and say, well, half of you do Fallout games and half of you do Elder Scrolls games. And all of you stop doing Starfield. That's the only way we would be getting games every 2 or 3 years.
I was pretty good at camp building.
I think.
yeah,
But Fallout 76 did not have any effect on the game schedule. Same is true of Elder Scrolls Online. These are different studios. People like to blame them for a lot of stuff, but honestly, I see no evidence whatsoever that they have anything to do. So we shouldn't.
Last few updates, we've also made some pretty pivotal changes to combat and perks.
Oh no, combat and perks. He looked like he was leading up to something. Poor Starfield. I'm not hating on Starfield. I quite liked it. But, you know, there's no way they can have 3 IPs going and do, like, games that often, you know. It's just not. Doubling the size of Bethesda all at once would kill the studio. Yeah, you can't do that. You wouldn't. I would say they can't double the size of it and then crank out games twice as fast. What I would actually mean is they would have to actually split and expand the splits. Like, they'd have to sort of set up, or maybe hire a whole new bunch of people in a new studio and then have some key people some key people from the main studio go over and start bringing them up to speed, and then basically they could share engine developments, right? We know this. We know they could share a lot of the engine development, but then you'd really need two different studios completely dedicated to Elder Scrolls or Fallout or something like that. And honestly, I don't even think that's a bad idea. But it would need to get the games as fast as people want.
To get to Burning Springs, you'll need to cross the recently repaired Mothman Bridge and Point.
Well, I don't get what's going on screen sometimes. I really do. They basically have to do what CDPR is doing with the new Western studio dedicated to Cyberpunk. Yeah, I mean, it's... With something like the Elder Scrolls, we could quite happily have one every 5 or 6 years, probably. Although, I actually am still not convinced they need to crank them out that fast. I think they could have released Skyrim and then released Elder Scrolls 6 in, say, I don't know, 2017, 2018. They could have gone 6-7 years without one, but have another 2 or 3 DLCs. They only really had 2 big DLCs for Skyrim. They could have done, say, 4, dragged it out a little longer, maybe even, you know, maybe have like 5, maybe 6 DLCs. Okay.
Walton Goggins playing the Ghoul and Fallout 76.
Oh yeah, I've heard
just
about this.
recorded the lines, and I'm here to tell you they're f***ing awesome. Whoa, slow down, cowboy. Buy a fella dinner first. I hope you enjoy playing this game as much as we did making it for you. Well, well. Looks like you and I share something more than just an itchy trigger finger, don't it?
You're right. That's Walton Goggins in Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Before
I mean,
season
love the TV show. Don't care about that. Sorry. But yeah, so honestly, they could have done that. They could have had a fairly big gap between them. But it's 2011 all the way up. We've been, what, 14 years now? 14 years between Elder Scrolls. And I personally think the earliest we're going to get it's 2028. And I'm honestly genuinely thinking more realistic is 2030. But a lot of people say I'm very negative. But I'm thinking 2028 earliest. If we get it earlier than 2028, I'll be ecstatic. If we get it 2028, I'll be pretty happy, actually. But I'm tempering my expectations and saying 2030 for Elder Scrolls 6.
And of course, between season 2 of the show and the 15th anniversary of Fallout New Vegas, we just had to include some fun nods to the Mojave and Burning Springs.
So Fallout 76 is just getting lots of almost fan fiction by the looks of things. So, Jesus, 2028, yeah. So, this means 2035 for Fallout. It is such a ridiculously long time between games, but...
More coming next year. But you'll have to stay tuned to find out more soon. I'm gonna go see what happened to that pig.
It's crazy. My kids will have been born and grown up into adulthood between Elder Scrolls games. I mean, it's like I said, yeah, for me, I'm thinking 19 to 20 years is...
Ohio. She used to be as green as you are now. It didn't last, so...
If Bethesda survives,
everything corrodes out here. Iron, steel, even people. The only question is, how long can you last before you start to get rusty? I happen to run a little service for the folks of this charming locale. Bounty hunting. Every name I hand out, somebody that has it coming. Good hunt. Welcome back, killer. Grab a bounty if you feel like rolling the dice. Knew you'd get the taste for it. Any hunter that wants to can get in on the action. Well, these are the worst of the worst. and you'll likely be grateful for the help.
There's New Vegas bounties in 76. Yeah. Should have got some guy to voice one of the characters.
Get themselves killed.
I want Randall back. Honestly?
You, the one I've heard so much about.
Does anyone else get a Borderlands vibe? I'm getting a Borderlands vibe right here.
I am here to help you realize it.
It's cool, it's just not the game I want. Yeah.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Hey everybody, just want to thank you for tuning in here on Fallout Day again. Your energy for the franchise has just been incredible, and I really want to let you all know how much that fuels everybody here, the hundreds of people that work on Fallout, the people behind the scenes that put on an event like this and bring in live animals into the studio.
What's with the
It's
pig?
incredible for us to be celebrating
Is
these
this a
huge
meme I'm
occasions. The 10-year
missing?
anniversary of Fallout 4, the 10th anniversary of Fallout Shelter, and Fallout 76 with Burning Springs, one of the biggest updates ever, and the TV show, Season 2 coming out this holiday. It looks incredible, and even though I am recording this, it's not live, and I'm probably like watching myself right
Damn,
now
he's getting
from
old,
my desk, and I'm
someone said. I hate
reading
you
your
guys.
chat and these, that thing you want and this other thing you want.
He's a
Hey,
young
we read it all.
whippersnapper.
Just know we are working on even more. We're looking forward to the day where we can share
Hog
that
meat
with
is
everybody.
very
But
funny,
thank you again
Gopher,
for tuning
please.
in,
Hog
and
meat.
happy Fallout Day.
So it's just a play on Dog Meat's name.
Hey
That's
guys,
it.
I'm John Carpenter. I am the #1 Fallout 76 fan, and I'd like to wish you other Fallout fans
John Carpenter.
happy Fallout Day. Man, let's celebrate. Let's play.
From Mo Cronin?
Wes!
From Fox. From the Silver Shroud. From all of us. And me, Wes Johnson. Happy Fallout Day. Now, can you take a licking and keep on ticking?
I'd like to wish you a happy Fallout Day.
Happy Fallout Day.
Happy Fallout Day.
Happy Fallout Day, y'all.
Happy Fallout Day.
Happy Fallout Day.
Happy Fallout Day.
Happy birthday, Fallout.
No, it's not Fallout's birthday. It's Fallout Day.
Oh, wait, but okay, no, but I don't really understand. I don't know why you had to correct me about thank you. I mean, what are we really? Happy Fallout Day.
The 10th
We'll see you in
birthday.
Vegas.
I'm with him on this. I wonder how many of them knew nothing about Fallout when they started in the series. No, let him explode. Todd made him
Or did
invulnerable.
we not promise a packed show?
And because we covered so much ground today, we went ahead and made you a handy dandy little timeline of all of the events, launches, updates, celebrations.
November the
et cetera,
10th, Fallout
et
4.
cetera. All that to say, it's a good year to be a Fallout player.
We've also got some
Have
huge
you
discounts
fixed
on
Fallout
titles
4
running
yet?
right now to celebrate Fallout Day. And keep an eye out in December for even more when Fallout Season 2 airs.
And if you love merch as much as I do, don't miss out on explosive deals and massive drops on a ton of new Fallout gear, including a limited edition Fallout Day shirt available today.
They're just asking for jokes
We may
at this
be done,
stage.
but the show's not over. Stay tuned for the post show with our amazing friends at Fallout for Hope. Let's help them hit their goals.
All right.
Thanks for joining us for another Fallout Day broadcast. We'll see you next year.
So that was it.
Well, I'll
That's-
actually see you in a few seconds. I gotta get to the post show.
Yeah, have fun.
Thank you.
That's it. That's it. Nothing. We don't even. So they don't even have a. They don't have like even have a. You know, headlining creation, because like. You know, they had the whole King Gath creation for, well, Skyrim. They had the one for Starfield. It's because King Gath said he'd never do paid mods for Fallout 4, right? So he just doesn't want to go back on that promise. Oh, I think he should have gone back. He should have gone back on that promise. I love the stuff he's been creating. Meh. So we just hang around now. What did you just watch? I wasn't expecting much. FMV FO3 don't need a remaster. They don't. I mean, look, we've got Fallout New Vegas coming out on the Fallout 4 engine eventually. We've got TTW. What we need is New Vegas 2. So, and when they had Obsidian and some people there, talking about New Vegas very briefly, you can't do that. You can't do that. This is the mistake Bethesda made with Fallout 76. They made the mistake with Fallout 76 of teasing stuff and then delivering stuff that I'm not saying no one wanted, but no one was expecting, and everyone was expecting something else. And I mean, it was only for a few seconds when I saw them and I just thought, oh, am I wrong? Because I didn't think they were going to announce anything like that. I did not think we were getting New Vegas remaster or anything. But I'm suddenly like, whoa, they wouldn't be announcing a New Vegas 2, would they? Like they've given Obsidian the go ahead or something, and then boom, nothing. No, it's just say a well wishing. That's the problem. Is it's all very nice to do that, but then you should really manage expectations. We are not announcing a new game. So. Anniversary edition of New Vegas. Oh, was there an anniversary edition of New Vegas? Sorry, did I miss that one? What's in it? What are we actually getting? I missed that. Isn't it just? It's not a remaster, right? It's when you say anniversary edition, it's the complete. It's everything with DLC, right? You get statues. All DLC plus creations. Fallout New Vegas doesn't have creations. No, it's just the old game with everything. So it's you get a statue. Right. So that's not anything new as far as I'm concerned. That's not anything new, right? It's the fancy box edition. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. How did Gopher miss that? Because it didn't happen. That's how Gopher missed it, because it didn't happen. They're just shipping basically what's it called? Ultimate Edition. They're just shipping Ultimate Edition under a new name. When you said when someone said Anniversary Edition for Fallout New Vegas, I thought they meant it was actually getting a new version. The Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition is basically just the same game but with some creations added, I guess. You get all DLC and they will add creation. Are they adding creations to Fallout New Vegas? I missed that. I thought it was creations for Fallout 4 they were adding. All right, no, it's right. I missed that. I thought it was creations to being added for Fallout 4. Can you run New Vegas unmodded on modern PCs? You can, I just wouldn't. New Vegas is one of those things where it didn't run great on the PCs for its time, but it's not scaled well with modern PCs. I wouldn't say it's worse with modern PCs than it was back then, because it was pretty bad back then. But no. It's Fallout 4 that's getting the. So Fallout New Vegas is getting nothing. It's just it's a rebrand. So I was right. I didn't miss anything. God damn it. Okay. And Fallout 4 is just getting creations. Please tell me they will ship a patch for all the things they broke. I'd like to see Fallout London get updated for the Oh, by the way, those of you who've been holding off playing Fallout London because you heard it was buggy or not very stable, etc., the new update is really solid. Really solid. I did a quick test of it. I got at least 22 hours through. 0 crashes. Necrona, thank you for the $20 super chat. I'd say this. The missteps I personally see that Bethesda has done with Fallout have made me kind of give up on Bethesda and has led me to embrace In Exile's Wasteland. So much I would love to see them do a Fallout side game. Yeah, I mean, Bethesda's done a lot of marketing missteps, to be honest. They better patch and fix what they broke. Is the show going to be here, or have I got to go somewhere else for that? Have I got to go somewhere else for that? Where's the Fallout for Hope thing then? Am I in the wrong place now? Am I in the wrong place now? Okay. This is... I know you're not a console player, but you should look into the rabbit hole the Xbox players have to go through with mods or games. No, I've heard it's an absolute nightmare with mods on Xbox. I have heard. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition includes all 6 DLCs and over 150 Creation Club items. But are there any Creation Club items worth, caring about? I don't know. That's the problem. I love how YouTube recommends your own channel you're logged into and streaming right now. Should we do stream session? Shall I click on it? Does anyone know? I feel like... I just sort of feel like this should have taken us somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Apparently it didn't. Okay, lot of comments, not happy. Okay. So yeah, that was underwhelming. They did try to temper expectations. Check the Fallout Bethesda Blue Sky account. They stated everything except the New Vegas Anniversary Edition. No, I'm basically though. I think what they should absolutely not do on things like this is have people from. I know it's hard on Fallout Day. You want to have a lot of people from the New Vegas Fallout series as well. But seeing as Bethesda's been very, very distant with them, to see them finally kind of link arms, but to wish Fallout a happy birthday is a tad. I think it was a bit of a misstep. Just no one uses Blue Sky. I do. I'm on Blue Sky. I say use it. I post my videos there. I don't use anything since Twitter went to hell. I've not really replaced it with anything, so. Fallout is great. All you need Fallout 4 for. Yeah, no, Fallout 4 is absolutely brilliant. I've got to say, I prefer Fallout London to Fallout 4. You use Bluesky. Yeah, I've got. I post on Twitter still. I post my releases on there, and I post on Blue Sky as well. But I don't really. I mean, Blue Sky just seems to be almost like what Twitter used to be. So there's nothing gets suggested. So it's pretty harmless. Blue Sky's pretty harmless. I think I follow Wes on there. So I go to Blue Sky and basically I see whatever Wes has posted when I finish posting my video. X is I still post on X, but what I do now is I close my eyes when I hit the submit button, cause it's horrible. God, what's going on there? But don't you have more reach on X than Blue Sky? Yeah, but I don't really care too much. I mean, I just post them to both places. Whenever I do a video, there's a button, you see. There is actually a button that'll send me to X. So I just do it, post it, and then I go to Blue Sky and post it. Social media is a cesspool now. Yeah, yeah. Need to so if I refresh this, it's oh,
for their lives at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And good Lord, thank you. But yeah, we got scroll up there a little bit. We got Senek, thank you very much.
It wasn't
Samantha Page Howard. I know you $50. Thank you. Kalitha for that $50.
Is it on theirs
Let's do it in
as well?
25. Vinpiz for 10, and Christine. I'm going to butcher that name. Brennanson. Thank you very much. But we also, in addition to that, please keep donations coming in. Literally every dollar matters. We also have some awesome giveaways today.
Yes, we do. You might be wondering why I have this laptop here. It's because I have the honor of being the keeper.
So what is what is this going to be then?
No more giveaways. They're all done.
That's not true.
That's no. We're definitely giving stuff away today. But before we start off our first one, do we want to introduce Scotty?
Yeah, I thought you'd start the giveaway and then we switch to Scotty before we go to our first block of program.
Okay, well then Ken has spoken, so it shall happen. The first giveaway is
the
going
Fallout
to be
for Hope.
for Nuka-Cola Mirror. And that means that the giveaway code, if you put that into chat, is #mirror all caps.
It's the donation
so go
stream.
ahead,
It's the fundraiser. But are they just
smash it, #mirror. You see it up on screen right
Are
over
they
there.
basically just doing the donation stuff now? They're not actually. There's not actually anything going on or an announcement or okay. Well, then realistically, you should be actually watching their stream live so you can donate to them. Yeah. Thank you for the remember, Snake Doctor.
And my home gym
Yeah.
completely Vault Tech themed. I got a chance to work
Oh
with Follow
God,
for Hope Ken,
my
one of
chat's
close
gotten
friends,
revolting
for the
too.
St. Jude charity event.
You knocked it out of the park.
Where we locked ourselves in a bunker for 4 days, 65 feet underground in a nuclear.
Fallout 4 AE is so hilarious.
I think we
Why?
made history on that.
Have they announced anything? No, nothing really. Nothing that's worth mentioning, I'm afraid. Nothing worth mentioning.
St. Jude is very important to me because of my daughter. She has a genetic condition that causes tumor growth in all of her vital
Why is a TikTok guy on there? Who's the TikTok guy then? Chad Fallout 76 podcast. I think I'm in the Discord. I think, yeah, I've seen him in Discord. He's got a Discord server.
So, here giving back. That's why we're here. I see a lot of you saying hi in the chat. It's good to see you all. I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you, man.
So anyway, guys, to me, then there's just no point us watching this. There's nothing going on except people are going to be donating. Worthy cause, by the way. If you're going to go and donate to them, you should go onto their stream to do that because you're not going to be donating watching my stream. The guy with the great stash and jacket. Oh, okay, it's the TikTok guy. Yeah. Must admit, I thought there was going to be more. I thought we'd get something in the creations that might be interesting. I thought we'd get something along the lines of, we have got a big update for Fallout 4 that will fix it. They missed the perfect opportunity for a New Vegas remake, etc. with Season 2 of the TV show. Yeah, you say they missed an opportunity for a New Vegas remake. Like, that's something you could just do. You're like, oh, you know what? That was popular. Let's do a New Vegas remake. You've got till October. You know, it's going to take a lot of time. What the hell? What? There's suddenly a ton of moderator slow modes just gone on. Being a Fallout fan is hard. Yeah. Some creations are great, like Bard's College expansion, Tale of Snow. Oh, I've not seen Tale of Snow and Blood. Yeah. I mean, some of the creations are great. They are doing a Fallout 76 themed expansion is all. Yeah, basically, no, it's, I think Fallout 76 is getting something, but I'm just not interested in that, so. They won't. They do Fallout 3 since it was their game. They might redo Fallout 3, but they might redo Fallout New Vegas because it's their game now. You got to remember, they're owned by Xbox and Microsoft, and Obsidian are owned by Microsoft and Xbox. So right now, it's more than possible that they either Obsidian or Bethesda could, I mean, Xbox would just say, right, you two, sort it out. We want New Vegas 2 or something, or a New Vegas remake. They could. Not saying they will. Honestly, I would rather they spend time working on Elder Scrolls 6. It's basically confirmed that Virtuous is making a Fallout 3 remaster. At least that's what Nate the Hate said. Yeah, again, look, I'm not saying I don't believe it, but I am saying I'll believe it when they announce it, just because it's better to take that attitude. I know there are leaks, but there are always leaks. Sometimes the leaks turn out to be true. Sometimes they turn out to be false. I mean, wasn't it supposed to be 2020? The Fallout 3 remaster? Something like that, the original leak. They will do what they did with Oblivion with Fallout 3. Honestly, I'm not even totally sure I see the point. I mean, really? Tale of Two Wastelands is a great way to play Fallout 3. And, of course, there is the Capital Wasteland project for Fallout 4. And again, I would absolutely, hands down, prefer those projects to a remaster. I mean, look, the Oblivion remaster was okay, but, I mean, Sky Oblivion has the potential to be 10 times better than it. Fallout Remake was on the same leak Oblivion Remake years back. Both were delayed, though. Well, possibly. Look, here's the thing. The thing is whenever you see these roadmaps, especially internal ones, you shouldn't take them as written in stone. You should not take them as written in stone. Because, of course, as you said, it's been delayed. Well, that's a long bloody delay. They could have been cancelled. So honestly, I don't really. I could not play Oblivion Remaster because of NPC design. I mean, that's the problem. The problem with the Oblivion Remasters, while it did superficially look better, it was still Oblivion. With all the, warts included. And I'm not saying Oblivion isn't a solid game. Yeah, it was a great game. Loved Oblivion. But it's bloody ancient. It is a 20-year-old game, and it has aged way worse than Skyrim. Here's what I will say. Bethesda hit their stride with Skyrim. Morrowind fans will lose their minds at that statement. They're going to lose their minds. Oblivion fans might as well. Bethesda hit their stride with Skyrim. Skyrim, basically, is still a viable game today with zero changes in its vanilla state. It's dated, yes, but everything about Skyrim has become the standard almost. If you look at just about every modern game, Skyrim almost seems to be the template they use, or at least like there's a bloodline in there that goes back to Skyrim. Just in the way the combat worked, the way the movement worked, the way, the general gameplay in Skyrim. It's very what I would call standard. It's very basic. It's very uninspiring by modern standards. But for example, go play Morrowind. Go play Morrowind. Yeah. If you've not played it for the last 20 years or something, if you played it when it came out and you've got these fond memories of it, go play it. Go and play it. You'll see immediately what I mean. You will see immediately what I mean. When you start hitting people and you can see the sword hitting them and it doesn't hit because there's a random number generator or something, right? It's, no games do that anymore, right? you know, they tried it with Morrowind. It was an interesting idea, but it just didn't quite gel. Obsidian had things like that. Look at the way the conversation system worked. Look at the fact that the persuasion minigame was god-awful. Look at all these things they tried. What you'll see in Oblivion is they've not quite hit the formula for their game to be long-lasting. Don't go back and play Morrowind. It's way better in your memory of it. Exactly. So, like Oblivion, the remaster, you play, you think, oh, it looks nice with the skin, and the combat was actually slightly better as well. I will admit, the combat was slightly better. But it had lots of little things that just made your brain squeak, like the dialogue. God, the dialogue system was awful. I mean, it really was not good. And the persuasion system was beyond bad. Now you go and look at Skyrim, and everything Skyrim does, it's still pretty much the same as most modern games do it. The way they did dialogue in Skyrim is the way a lot of games, at least, most games that I would play in the RPG genre that I really appreciate, they use a very similar system. You know, you have a long line of text that you pick. That's what you're going to say. And then you'll get the response. And it's kind of like a dialogue tree. Go and look at Morrowind. Go and look at Morrowind's dialogue system. Oh my God. It's the concept of it was kind of great, but the actual implementation, or basically how it ends up working once the player gets hold of it, it's horrible. Skyrim, they just got everything more or less working. You look at all the mini games, look at the lock picking, look at actually, lockpicking was the only one in Skyrim, wasn't it? That was the only... They got rid of that. Persuasion. They switched in Skyrim. Persuasion just became some dialogue lines were persuasion options, yeah? Which is the way a lot of games do it. It's very, very basic. It only happened in a few conversations. But it's still fairly standard way to do it now. It's kind of like they hit the most generic gameplay you could possibly get, but they just did it, you know, back in 2011, and it's inoffensive. That's the thing with Skyrim. Everything about it is really inoffensive. You feel like all the things you mentioned were already in place in Fallout 3. Right. To some degree, this is absolutely true. Fallout 3 may have been a learning curve for them. I was actually thinking more on the Elder Scrolls games at the time. But actually, no, you know what? Fallout 3 is a good place where they did learn. But even Fallout 3 still had some weirdnesses, right? Some things that we were kind of glad to get rid of. I think Mass Effect 1 and 2 had the best dialogue options in a game. Mass Effect 1 and 2, good. I hate games where you pick a one-word answer and speak 3 or 4 lines. Morrowind's dialogue had NPCs giving the same info dump. Yes. Inoffensive, I hear, translation to corporatized. No. By inoffensive, I mean sometimes you'll look at something, a gameplay, or graphics. Let's just say with graphics. You look at the graphics and you think, wow, those are amazing graphics. Or you look at the graphics and think, oh, they're horrible. I mean, I'll give you an example. Skyrim. The water in Skyrim was offensive. Okay? It looked like snot. It was offensive. Do you know what I'm saying? So, graphically, it was offensive. Skyrim Special Edition, water was just boring. It was inoffensive. That's what I mean. And I don't just mean mediocre, though, because something might be brilliant and yet just so damn clumsy it offends you. I'm thinking gameplay. Something might be spectacular, but also spectacularly annoying. What Skyrim did is it managed to make all aspects of it, except the occasional thing like the water, but the general gameplay, the general experience, so inoffensive that it still works today. Go play something like Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines, the original. This is a game I love. It's a classic, but there's so much about it that's offensive, that's horrible, that's annoying. Witcher 1. The combat system was bloody awful, right? It was bloody awful. Great game. Love that game. One of my favourite games, but bloody offensive in certain areas. That's what I'm getting at. I think Cyberpunk is the only game to really nail the shortened dialogue choices. I always knew the tone of what I was going to say. Yes, I mean, I will admit, CD Projekt Red seemed to be pretty good at the character, you pick a line and the character has one or two lines to say. I very rarely in their games find myself going, no, I didn't want to say that. Some games I definitely get that feeling. How dare you call the combat in Witcher 1 awful? Yeah. So this is what I mean. When I say Skyblivion, I'm going to prefer it to Oblivion. It's just that. Welcome, it's just minion. Everything in Skyrim still works today. I'm not saying it's brilliant. I'm not saying it's perfect. This is why we use mods. We use mods to make the game look better. We use mods to give the game more interesting perks, right? But the perk system in Skyrim was great. That was a great development. And they replaced stats with perks, and I think that was absolutely brilliant because the stats in their previous games were an absolute abomination. They were just so bad. They were so badly implemented. And I'm saying this as someone who utterly adores complicated number-based RPG character creation systems. Give me a complicated stuff with loads of numbers anytime, as long as those numbers make sense and don't encourage stupid levels of grinding. Will I be playing VTMB 2? I don't know. I probably. I'm hearing weird reviews of it at the moment. Thank you, Max, for the 1,000-bit cheer. So, right, Skyblip bring back skills to Fallout. Yeah, no, I'd be all for bringing back skills to Fallout. Definitely. Bring back skills to Fallout. Keep the perks, have the skills. But again, Fallout 4's character creation system didn't actually offend me as much as it offended some other people's senses. But at the same time, yeah, no, give me the skills back. I'm fine with the skills. Although the Fallout character build system's never been particularly inspiring. I actually prefer Skyrim's character build system. I love the fact that in Skyrim, you get better at skills by using the skills. I much prefer that system. But at the same time, I quite like the skills in Fallout, so bring them back. Fallout's stat system's fine. Fallout's special system, that's a semi-decent stat system, in my opinion. So much better than the Elder Scrolls ones they had in the first 4 bloody games. Bloodlines 2 feels like Dishonored with a vampire liquor paint, unfortunately. Honestly, though, you're making me want to play it. I liked Dishonored. I like that too, but just a percentage boost is boring. You mean the percentage boosts in the perks? Yes. The Skyrim perks were kind of boring in the vanilla game. They were kind of boring. But they were not annoying, if you get my meaning. That's the thing. The stat system in earlier test games were stupendously annoying. Milo, thank you for the $50 super chat. But yeah, so the Elder Scrolls stat system was god awful. Absolutely just the worst. Whereas the perk system was fine. Yeah, it was a little boring, just stat boosts, which is why, but it's why mods such as whatever, I can't remember what it's called, that ones that overhaul the perks and make them do much more interesting things, they are really, really good, but they were relatively straightforward to implement because, you know, Skyrim had already implemented them. So I heard Vampire 2 the Masquerade is a good vampire game, but not a good sequel to Bloodlines 1. This was my worry. This is my worry. Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines 2 looks like a really interesting game. And I'm hearing people say it's a ton of fun and it's a good Vampire the Masquerade's game. But Bloodlines was not just a Vampire the Masquerade game, it was an RPG. It was. And it had the classic sense of RPG. A very simplistic character build system, but a character build system nevertheless. It was a character build system that would encourage different ways of playing. You couldn't get every single solitary skill maxed out in that game. It had tons of quests, loads of dialogue. A lot of it was optional, multiple ways of solving things. The usual sort of all the trappings of a role-playing game. And if they didn't want to do that again, if they wanted to make another Vampire the Masquerade's game, they could have just said, we're going to make something, you know, Vampire the Masquerade's Dishonored. I don't know. I've heard that the skill system is more akin to, you know, like an FPS skill system, the character build system, so that you can end up maxing absolutely everything. Although that's probably unfair. There's plenty of RPGs where you can max everything, to be honest. That is it's just, but I've heard that it's far more along the lines of a Dishonored game. Which, by the way, for the record, Dishonored 2, that these are superb games that I absolutely love. I'm more interested in, does it have lots of quests and side quests, and does it play like an RPG? You can learn other clan skills, powers, except for passives. Oh, so there are, no, except for passives. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to play the game to have a really good idea of whether or not it lives up to. I mean, I've learned to be very suspicious of negative responses, especially towards role-playing games. Best way I can describe Bloodlines 2, it's like CD Projekt's Red Cyberpunk, as in they are tabletop RPGs that have no RP in their G. Don't know what you're saying there. Cyberpunk originally was an RPG. It was a tabletop RPG. And Cyberpunk 2077 is a CRPG. Both of them are, I don't know what you're saying there, sorry. Anyway, I will check it out. I will absolutely check it out. The side quests are awful. Right. It doesn't have good side missions. Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking. Like when you think of Dishonored, why is Dishonored not an RPG? Because it's a fairly linear adventure. It is an adventure, I guess. It is fairly linear. I don't think there was any dialogue. How much dialogue is there in VTMB2? I mean, I think a lot of it's going to come down to how the dialogue is in that game. Again, I think I should probably just play it rather than let people try to tell me what they think of the game. You personally love the dialogue and the voice acting. I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. Is the dialogue more like Red Dead Redemption 2, where you've got some agency over it, but a lot of it's kind of scripted? Or is it dialogue along the lines of the original game? Lots of different options. Everyone has their own definition of RPGs. Yeah, except that's not how language works, though. I mean, I have noticed that a lot of people do start conversations with, well, to me, an RPG is, and it's like, yeah, that's just not how this works. RPGs are just games. It's CRPGs, computer role-playing games, are just games that basically seem to mimic the old tabletop role-playing games of yore. The first few games that started getting the CRPG label were usually party-based games, if I remember correctly. Although that's not necessarily true. A lot of the Ultima games were single character. But it's a very, very broad, generic category RPG. So when people say things like, this isn't an RPG, when it clearly is an RPG, and then they then say, because I say an RPG has a character that has 3 warts, and if it doesn't have 3 warts, it's not an RPG, or something like that. I get my eyes roll a tiny bit. RPGs are games that have systems that allow role play. Even that's not true. It's not. I mean, because first of all, you have to define role play, but I can role play any game you give me. Oh, you did say have systems that allow role play. Okay, no. Okay, no, yeah, has systems that allow role play. I mean, why is Red Dead Redemption 2 not a role playing game? Because the character build system just doesn't even come close. There are no builds in Red Dead Redemption 2. But also the dialogue system. There are not enough. You don't have enough agency over the character. Not really. You have some agency, but not a lot. How much agency do you need before it would get the RPG classification? There's no set amount. Right? There is no set amount. But it doesn't even have the basic character build system. So this is why it's such a nebulous term, RPG. No manual save already made it not an RPG. Seriously? So if it's not got a decent save system, it's not a role-playing game. I mean, it is. Here's the thing. RPG is a generic term. It's like, I don't know, let's have a think. It's like adventure. Yeah? Or action. It gives you a vague idea of what you're getting, but it's really broad. It is really broad. And when people say things like, Fallout 4 is not an RPG, and then they give you a because, and it's because I didn't like it, basically. That's what usually happens. Is usually give you this very complicated description, and it comes down to, I just didn't like it. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an RPG to me because, see, again, don't start conversations like that. You can't say something is an RPG to you. Well, you can, but it's sort of pointless. It's kind of like saying Red Dead Redemption 2 is a platformer game to me because any game that has a platform you can stand on is a platformer. And it's like, okay, I guess. But that's kind of a completely pointless word, because every single time I speak about Red Dead Redemption 2 as a platformer game, I have to explain what I mean. If your definition needs to be explained each and every single time you talk about it, it's sort of pointless. I mean, you can't say just because you take the role of a character, it's a role-playing game, because then Doom's a bloody role-playing game. Hell, the later Doom games had a character build system. It didn't give me the RPG experience I was looking for. Now, is there an RPG experience? Yeah. I would say probably. If you look at all the games that get the RPG label and games that don't get RPG label, there is an experience there. But even that's questionable. The experience is usually one of, could I imagine sitting down at a table playing this with friends with pen and paper and character sheets? Sort of thing, right? So this, Baldur's Gate's the classic example. Baldur's Gate is pretty much in your face about how RPG it is, right? Because not only could you imagine sitting at a table rolling dice with people, you're pretty much almost doing that. So there is an experience there. There is an RPG experience. But even that, I mean, like, is Dark Souls an RPG? Is Elden Ring an RPG? I gotta be honest with you, people classify that as an RPG, but I never walk away from it feeling like I had an RPG experience. But it's considered an RPG. It's considered an RPG, so it has all the trimmings that require it to be an RPG. But I always get the experience I get from it is not the same that I get from what most other RPGs I play. I guess that's why they call them Souls and Souls-like. Exactly, because there is a Souls-like experience, isn't there? There's a Souls-like experience. God of War was very character building for me. God of War, love that game. Absolutely love that game. There is a crossover between action, adventure, and RPGs. Well, yeah. I mean, that's like saying there's a crossover between shooters and RPGs. I mean, there are. If a game has shooter mechanics and is also an RPG. If a game has action mechanics and is an RPG, it's an action RPG. If a game... I would argue that all RPGs are adventures, though. I'd say one of the core features of an RPG is it is an adventure game. For those of you who are not old enough to remember what adventure games were, they were a very specific genre of computer game where you literally, they were different. They were usually text-based, and it was the story of a character, and you started it and you played. They were one of the original games that required a save system rather than just playing until you lost. I consider Metro series RPGs. But again, you might want to consider them that if you like, but it's pointless. Basically, I don't see the point. I think that's what I don't understand the point of having your own definitions of terms like that, because it just causes confusion. And I think this is possibly why some people get so damned bent out of shape when a game comes out, it's classified as an RPG, and then they get mad because it doesn't meet their own personal definition of an RPG. The problem is you can't expect the rest of humanity to respect your, or even know what your definition is. Metro is not really an RPG, though. It's not. It's so. If you said to your friend, "Oh, Metro, so you should play. It's a really good RPG experience," and he went off and played it, he might hate it because he was expecting an RPG, and what he got instead was a story-driven shooter. You know what I'm saying? Action, adventure, and RPG games have mixed together. Again, all RPGs are adventures. But yeah, a lot of RPG games are now action RPG games. What I think usually when you see action RPG, it seems to be more real time, if that makes sense. Old-fashioned RPGs are somewhat turn-based in nature. Somewhat like sitting at a table. Action RPGs are, in my mind, they're RPGs where the action sort of happens in real time. I think would be a fairly good way of describing it. All games are technically RPGs. No, they're not. That's the problem. Unless you're using a definition of RPG to literally mean you can play the character of a role, all games are not technically RPGs. Because RPG does not mean a game where you role play. It did when we were tabletop gaming. Because in those days, there was a big difference between an RPG and other board games. You know, Monopoly was not an RPG. You did not play the role of a boot. Yeah? You did not play the role of a car. So when you were role-playing games around the tables, CRPGs, the definition, well, there's not even a definition. The reason we use the term RPG with computer RPGs is just they remind us of those old tabletop RPGs. That's how it all started. So yeah, so I role-play the top hat in Monopoly. Right, yeah, so once we went to computer games, 99.999% of the games you play, you are playing the role of something. So it's a meaningless... If RPG just means that, then you might as well remove the R and the P. When you look at something, if you're trying to come up with a label, it's to classify, to describe, right? RPGs have many subcategories, ARPGs, JRPGs, CRPGs, exactly. There are loads of categories, but RPG is a fairly generic one. They're all types of RPGs. CRPG stands for computer, not classic. I think so. Doesn't CRPG stand for computer role-playing game? I assumed it did. This is just the terminology I've been using for... ever. Does it stand for classic? You always thought it meant classic. Then what do we call computer role-playing games then? Computer RPG is what I knew of. I wonder if it's an old thing. I wonder if it used to mean computer RPG, and then all of a sudden young people came along and said, the human eyes can't see faster than 30 frames a second anyway. Yes. That sort of thing happens. Okay, we got a paragraph from Dragon Killer in Twitch. CRPG most commonly stands for computer role-playing game, a term used to distinguish computer-based role-playing games from tabletop games. Over time, the meaning has evolved, and many now use it to refer to a specific subgenre of Western RPGs that feature party-based gameplay, isometric perspectives, and a focus on story character development such as Baldur's Gate and Pillars of Eternity. Right, so CRPG has two meanings, the original and a new one. Now that is unfortunately how language works for you, I'm afraid. And one day it is possible that the generic term RPG will mean something else. And that, generally speaking, games like Metro will be considered RPGs. It is possible, because words do change their meaning. It's just right now, if you turn around... I mean, I've seen people try to claim Red Dead Redemption 2 is an RPG. But if you tell someone it's an RPG and they play it, they're going to be disappointed if what they wanted was an actual RPG, as most people understand it. And I think it's doing a game a disservice if you try to classify it as something that that requires an explanation and you don't give that explanation.
Welcome, minion.
Where would CRPG put Cyberpunk? It's a tabletop turned into a computer game. Yeah, well, it's definitely a CRPG computer game. Cyberpunk 2077 is a computer role-playing game, but it wouldn't be a classic role-playing game in that it's an action RPG. I would say classic RPG and action RPG are two separate things, right? Can anyone think of a classic RPG that would be considered an action RPG as well? I don't think so. Because I think the whole concept of classic RPG, if I'm understanding what someone wrote, is that it really does mimic like a turn-based isometric sort of system. Whereas action RPGs, they could be isometric, but they probably wouldn't be... I mean, I might not be wrong. Mark, thank you for the $5 New Zealand dollars super chat. I was holding donations for the Grounded 2 Gopher experience, but it's not happening. Oh, no, we know. Oh, right. Yeah, no, we actually finished way earlier than I thought. I suppose they could do Grounded 2 if Che's available. To be honest with you, though, I'm a bit exhausted. I'm actually exhausted. Streaming is more tiring than you think. Gauntlet. Gauntlet is not an action RPG. It's an action game. DayZ can be played as an RPG. How you interact with your mentioned action. Again, no, it can't be played as an RPG. At least not how the term RPG is currently used. Again, is it possible that that term will change over time? Possibly, yeah. Would Daggerfall be a CRPG? And if so, is that classic or computer? Well, it's definitely a CRPG. Computer role-playing game. Would it be classic? No. Daggerfall would be an action RPG, I guess. I suppose. It's not, I mean, Daggerfall's old, but it's first person, real time. We just need to convince people that it means role-picking game and the problem is fixed. That's not a terrible idea, Garion, first of his name. That is not the worst. Role-picking game. That's actually... I mean... That's not actually the worst description I've ever heard of how to describe a role-playing game. Like a proper one that's got an RPG flag. Because that's the thing, isn't it? You do... No, you just tell enough people that's what it always meant and they'll believe it. That's sad, isn't it? But you know what I mean? That's a good way to describe it, though, because that's the thing. It's not necessarily that you pick a role. You pick a play style. I think that would possibly be the way to describe it. I think the way to describe it is... Oh, Necroner, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm guessing RPG has been so diluted as to be weak as current American light beers. Dissing the Americans for their beer. If RPG is just stats, it's not just stats. But then technically the current MLB games are RPGs because you gain stats for your players. Not right. I think the thing with an RPG stat system is it will... Generally, with role-playing games, they have a stat system that allows you to start off a character quite weak and then grow in certain directions to become good at certain aspects of the gameplay, better at certain aspects of the gameplay than others, right? So maybe your character's going to focus more on fighting, or another character might focus more on sneaking. And the way you create the character will shape how you play the game. And this character's stats will progress over time, noticeably, right? But it will basically change the way you approach the game. This is still a somewhat dangerous description because there are RPGs such as The Witcher where there are completely different builds, but how much does it change the way you approach the game? I guess it really only changes the way you approach combat. Arguably, you could say the same is true in, say, Dungeons and Dragons. You know, you're a wizard, you're a fighter, you're a cleric. The biggest thing is how you survive a fight, right? But it's this idea that the stats system has an effect. What I always say is the easiest way to think of this is, could Fudge Muppet do a build video on it? It's probably the easiest way. If so, it's probably got the bare minimum to be an RPG. Although, there are games where builds are almost pointless. I mean, some games, especially games where you just get better when you use certain skills. So this would be true of Skyrim, but I'm thinking actually Kingdom Come Deliverance. You can definitely approach this game as a sneaky character, an archer. You could do it as a knight. You could do it as someone who specializes at speech. But I gotta say, that is a game where not only can you maximize every single solitary skill, the game almost encourages you to do that. So again, it's really hard to nail this down. It is really hard to nail it down. But it's more than just the character build system. You do need this sort of character build system that you can imagine having a character sheet for and filling in stuff and putting numbers on. This is why I would say Red Dead Redemption 2's character system does not meet the requirement, right? I mean, it's got 3 stats. Yeah, I mean, this is what it's got. It's got 3 stats. It's got the same number of stats as the original Doom. You know, Red Dead Redemption 2 could have been made as an RPG. I could definitely have seen a game where you had skills, maybe gambling skills or hunting skills or all the different things you do in the game, and you could have got better at one. And, you know, it could have played Arthur as a natural horseman and hunter. Or, you know, another time you could play through as a pugilist or something. But it didn't. Arthur is so very, very simplistic. But again, Fudge Muppet could make a build of almost anything, it seems. I mean, it's possibly true, but I'm trying to get over the idea, because that's the thing with a lot of these labels. They are more about the idea of vibe. And that's why I always say, can you imagine playing the game with friends, for example, sat around a table? Would it be possible? You know what I mean? So yeah. There's also weapon skills and horse bonding. The horse bonding isn't a skill. That's a bonding with each horse. There is weapon affinity. That is true. There is weapon affinity, but it really doesn't change anything about the way you play the game at all. Not like even slightly. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like you have a stealth skill and you get better at stealth, so you could play through as a stealthy Arthur one time or something. It's not. And here's the other thing. Some people get mad when you say such and such a game is not an RPG. But that's because they feel RPG is a compliment or a trophy to be won. I think this is why some people like to say Fallout 4 is not a true RPG. Basically, they're disappointed with it and they don't want it to have the label. I think people should stop thinking like that. They should just stop thinking like that. Games could be a Souls-like and be absolutely crap when compared to Dark Souls. Yeah? A game could be an RPG and absolutely suck. It could be the worst game ever made and still be an RPG. And to say, well, it's not a good RPG. Well, no, it's not a good RPG. But, you know, that's because it's not a good game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an action-adventure to my mind. Well, again, the thing to do when looking at this is to ask yourself, what do the developers of that game call it? And they call it an open-world, story-rich Western multiplayer game. Multiplayer? Oh, I suppose there is a multiplayer game, isn't there? Yeah, but they don't include RPG as far as I can see. Mind you, these tags are actually... No, I've seen it in the store. I once looked up what they classified it in the store. And the developers didn't classify it as an RPG, so... Red Dead Redemption 2 is an action with RPG elements. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure which RPG elements it has, though. I mean, Borderlands is a shooter with some RPG elements. People try and call them things like RPG light. But that's because it's got a character build system. And the character build system does actually make quite a big difference in Borderlands. But it just lacks in every other area. So... best to not say RPG anymore. Yeah, to be honest with you, probably. So, did they announce anything? Nope, we're just sat here spitballing and arguing over the definition of role-playing game for the lols. And we've been doing that for about 3/4 of an hour. Borderlands is a looter shooter. It is. It's a looter shooter. It's an action adventure. It's arguably story driven. Nah, I wouldn't say that. Although I love the story in Borderlands too. Yeah, I mean, to me, just because something's an RPG does not make it good. I love RPGs because I love that sort of game, but there are plenty of god-awful RPGs, and I won't deny them their RPG status, but I don't want to play them. And there are plenty of games that I play that I adore, love and adore, and I'd never call them an RPG, and it's no insult to that game. So I guess that's... genres are just vibes. Yeah, to be honest, Rust 3D, yes, they are. Genres are just vague descriptors that try to give people an idea of what they're going to play. But if you start having very specific definitions of these terms that don't match what the games actually are, you're probably going to end up disappointed and angry an awful lot, which I think is why it's important people just try to look at what a game is and not try to judge it as good and bad when they look at these labels. Any thought you might finish Stalker 2? Oh, I'm going to finish Stalker 2. I'm just waiting for the right moment, basically. So I'm waiting for... I mean, I was waiting for at least another update. I've heard there's going to be an update that might improve the AI system. Right now, I'm not going to be starting anything other than Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just because of all the chaos and noise going on during the day here. It's very hard to get Let's Play recording done at the moment. Very, very hard. So, I don't want to be struggling with 2 games under these circumstances, so it'll just be 1. I can give you a name for a bad RPG. Did you ever play Two Worlds? I did. The game that was going to kill Skyrim. It was also co-op, and it was awful. I don't remember it much. I will take your word for it. It probably was if I don't even remember it. But I do remember No! Or did I? I don't know. Now I'm second guessing myself. I thought I did. Oh, I've played tons of bad RPGs, though. I mean, God, yeah, no. Necroner, $20 super chat. A very big aspect of Morgan, though, is the morality system is very in-depth. Yeah, I mean, look, Red Dead Redemption 2 has a very deep storyline, the morality of which is amazing. Yeah, so, and we'll colour future scenes and reactions by Arthur. You also have in-game actions you need to do to regain those 3 stats, like smoking to get Deadeye. Yeah, no, I mean, it's got a very basic stat system, but that doesn't make it an RPG. And it has an in-depth story. It is story-driven. That's one of the big tags for that game. It is massively story-driven. It's also a game that does have some consequences for your actions. Some. But again, I've seen a lot of people say, RPGs are games where there are consequences for your actions. And they don't define what those consequences are, for a start. And if they do, it's usually something, well, it's got to show something in-game. I've seen people try to claim Cyberpunk 2077 is not a role-playing game because, you know, the side quests don't, you know, buildings don't shift or something. There's no, you know what I mean? It's not like something changes. Like if you do enough Tiger Claw missions, then the Tiger Claws will start ruling an area more than the Maelstrom. Nothing like that happens. Therefore, it's not an RPG. But that's not that. I don't understand why people think that's what an RPG is. Because by this definition, 99.999% of all games I've ever played that are generally considered RPGs are just not RPGs. And this includes some of the greats. There are so many games where there's very little acknowledgement of stuff you've done beyond the occasional encounter. You know, and this is true of like The Witcher 3. And I never heard people say, Witcher 3 is not a role-playing game because there's no consequences for your actions. Because there are consequences for your actions. It's just a lot of the consequences are story. You know, you failed the Red Baron, or you know. But the only change is if you actually go back to his place and try and find him or something, you know, and most role-playing games are like that. It's not like in most role-playing games, you do a quest and everything in the world changes. It's just very, very rare. Witcher 2 is probably one of the few games where a choice you made had real in-game consequences, and that's just, it decides which chapter 2 you get. Having consequences to actions is more about a game having branching narrative and not what genre it is. Yeah, exactly. So there's some games that have really good branching narratives that will change as you depending on what you do. I mean, does anyone remember the game Vampire? It was a game that had tons of effect on the things you did. But again, that's, you know, this, we're talking about different things. The problem is many people voice their frustrations with CDPR after they kind of lied in their pre-release videos. Okay. So I've seen this claim so many times. I'm going to read this again. The problem is many people voice their frustrations with CD Projekt Red after they kind of lied in their pre-release videos and interviews of CP 2077 by just saying it's not an RPG. Well, I don't know whether people try to claim it's not a role-playing game because they got lied to, and if so, that would be silly. But I have looked into this they lied thing, and I still cannot find it. I once asked, when did they lie? And somebody linked a 45-minute dev stream of an alpha build. And I watched it, and at no point did I understand why people were saying they lied. And I'm still to this day a little confused by that accusation. I understand that what you saw in that dev stream had changed by the time of release, but the developers said it probably would in the stream a number of times, and there was a giant bloody message. I can't remember what the message said, but it was on the stream telling you that this was just the current build and the gameplay might change. So I don't... Well, they did insinuate it was a complete game, lol. Look, the lie was, this is going to work on last-gen consoles. That was the lie. That was the lie, and I completely understand people getting mad at them for releasing a game and saying you could play this on the Xbox One when it was hot garbage on the Xbox One. That was bad. That was bad. That was a lie. And I'm not saying, oh, they didn't realize. There's no way. I've seen footage of how it was performing on those devices. There is no way they didn't know. So yeah, okay. I say kind of lied because they didn't really lie, but they kind of skewed the truth. See, I don't buy that, Robert. I really don't. I watched the video that someone linked to me as proof of them lying, and all I saw was... It wasn't even like the video was that dissimilar to the actual mission you do when you finally get there. There were some differences. And honestly, I much prefer what they released to what I saw as well. A lot of that, I think, was to do with heads-up display elements and stuff. I felt... I don't know why, but something about that dev stream footage looked a little... I would almost call it arcadey. But yeah, there were certain things. I think wasn't there certain items in one of the boss fights that there was like destructible architecture or something more than there was in the end or something. I'm not buying that that's lying at all. That's what they were working on and working for and working towards, and in the end they dropped it. That's just... I mean, this is probably the best reason for people not to watch development videos. The bigger issue... Thank you for the $5 super chat, Necrono. Well, the bigger issue is the game was originally released for the PlayStation 3 and thus had years to give us, like, the dev stream. But it's just bad. Well, look, they released it on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox. The state it released on those consoles was god-awful. And that is the issue they rightfully got called out on, in my opinion. No ands, ifs, or buts. You guys will remember I played the game at launch and I loved it, but I kept very, very quiet because I realized there was a lot of people extremely annoyed at CD Projekt Red for what they did to console gamers. And I felt like, you know what? I don't want to get out there going, God, I love this game. Believe it or not, I had a box set, a collector's edition with a box. I did not open that box until Phantom Liberty came out. So I always intended to sort of unbox it and show you guys, and I didn't feel comfortable doing it. I felt like I was almost rubbing it in the nose of console users. PlayStation 4, surely not PlayStation 3. Possibly. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. They claimed it ran great on PlayStation 4. It did not. Yeah, right. No, I mean, it's... I've seen the footage of how it worked on consoles. I am not even slightly surprised that people were really annoyed. I mean, honestly, especially after what, you could see people like me on PC were enjoying. This was a game. They should have probably waited another year or two until the new generation of consoles were out and then release it. It would have also given them time to polish a lot of the things that needed polishing. Because there were things that needed polishing even on PC. Go and see my videos. After I played the game, I did a video, I think it was almost an hour long, things I didn't like about Cyberpunk, right? It needed a lot of polish. Oddly enough, probably about 75 to 80% of the stuff I complained about, they did in fact fix. But even before that, this game was incredible on PC. I mean, it was an amazing game. But I will admit, the reason it was an amazing game was it was so atmospheric. It was so, oh God, it pulled you in by the feels. It really did draw you into the vibe, the atmosphere, the story. I loved that game. But a big part of that was how good it looked, how good it sounded, how just, yeah, it was the vibe, the atmospherics. It just really let them tell the story. And it was amazing. And I saw the footage on consoles and thought, yeah, I would have low-key hated it too. In fact, no, I wouldn't have low-key hated it. I would have loudly hated it. So that was the lie. That to me was the lie. But when people talk about the other stuff, I feel like it's the same as the whole, do you remember the Witcher 3 E3 trailer gate? I feel like it was like that. And if you're getting the vague feeling that I'm thinking that was a bit of a nothing burger, that's because it was. Do you want to know the funny what? The funniest thing was when Witcher 3 first came out, there was all these people screaming at how it had this downgrade. They pointed to this E3 trailer, and then somebody released a mod that restored it to the E3 graphics, and so many people were like, see, this is what it should have been. This is what they did. This proves. And it was like, yeah, it's a reshade. It was a reshade. It was a reshade. Literally. The E3 trailer had I can't remember. It had I think it had like a bit of a sepia tinting to it. So that made me laugh. These people, like, yeah, it's a reshade. It is a reshade. That's all they did. Sounds like the Watch Dogs debacle. Now, well, with Watch Dogs, there was... well, actually, to be honest with you, I didn't follow the Watch Dogs debacle too much, but I think that was actually quite noticeably different. Yeah, anyway. See, Cyberpunk is still probably one of my favorite games of all time. Even to this day. I am really sad that it didn't get at least one more DLC. There was a huge downgrade from E3 to real game with Watch Dogs. Yeah, this is what I'm told. With Witcher, it really was mostly down to color choices. In the final game, they'd gone for a more vibrant look, a more colorful look to the game. In the E3 trailer, they'd gone for a more gritty and somber vibe. But that's what it was. And people, I mean, like, I understand people could go, I really preferred the E3 look. That looked better. I liked that gritty, slightly desaturated vibe you had, rather than this very saturated, vibrant colors you've got in the game now. I preferred that. Completely understand that, but that's not what people were doing. It was full meltdown about it. My gripe with the story was that it felt like I needed to hurry and finish the game. I couldn't take my time and enjoy Night City. Tasty Punisher, you're absolutely right. One of the big problems with the game is the pacing of the main quest. That is the one thing they've not been able to fix. which is a shame because all they needed to do to fix it was get the voice actor who did Victor to come in and just change those bloody lines. Instead of, you might only have a few days or weeks, just say months, maybe a year or two, I don't know. Just make it important, but don't make it imminent. Yeah. So, but yes, no, Cyberpunk's still one of those games that every time I think of it, I just, oh, I love that game. I love that game. And ever since I got my Wooting keyboard, I love driving around Night City as well. I miss driving around Night City. I'm probably going to go back and play that game sometime. Favorite build now, knife thrower with cyberdeck. Which I would never have said before patch 2.0. And I've done so many builds in that game. So many builds. Anyway, I've been at this for 2 hours. I mean, I was going to stream for 4 hours originally. That was my thought process. Because I thought this was going to be a big, big event. And now it's just become a bit of a hang around and babble. I better put something in the description telling people they can skip. Still love your Sandavist and Mantis blades. Yeah. Have you played since patch 2.0? Guardian. You've been trying LMG shotgun build for the first time. Oh, brilliant. There isn't a build in Cyberpunk that isn't fun. There isn't. And you can get real creative with builds. Go with LMG with Cyberdeck. Don't go full in. Don't go Netrunner. Just have a few hacks. Yeah, you've played it since. Yeah, Sandavist and Mantis blades. Have you tried Berserker Mantis blades? Or no, actually, Berserker Katana is probably better. Bye, Clell Biggs. Sandavistan is actually not as powerful as Berserk for melee builds. In fact, it's not even close. It is fun, though. It is massive amounts of fun. But again, try something like a Mantis Blade build with a Cyberdeck. Has anyone done a build without any of those operating systems? The new one, with the one that just increases your cyberware capacity? That's pretty good as well. That's really good for a tech build. Sandy plus Katana in the Welcome to Night City mod pack is so good. Yeah, thing is with, like, I've said that probably one of the more powerful builds in the game now is Netrunner. They're so goddamn versatile. It's staggering. They're good at everything. They are like the jack of all trades. But there are certain moments where a Netrunner build falls apart, and it's mostly because of scripted moments where the person is just not hackable, or certain boss fights. The Phantom Liberty early boss fight, that was tough as a Netrunner. You want to know how to make a character who pretty much, I mean, all characters are powerful in the end, but he can take on most things, but is a unstoppable beast against bosses, and those are the usual trick. Berserker Melee. That's Berserker Melee. Berserker Melee, and you can literally face tank the big bosses in Phantom Liberty. But for fun, try a katana run with a cyberdeck. Try that. Don't go intelligence. So you don't want a huge amount of RAM. You only want to be able to upload 1 or 2 hacks. And usually you'll go for control hacks. But try that. Having a cyberdeck gives you so much extra ability on things like car fights. Well, car fights are probably hard actually if you don't put something into intelligence. But just things like basic stealth, taking over cameras, etc. But also being able to lock people in place or make their weapons malfunction. And then use the reflex tree to sort of cover distance to them and kill them and stuff like that. So you don't get the slightly overpowered nature of your Sandevistan or your Berserk. You need to play quite clever and smart, but you also get the added stealth bonuses. So it is very possible to play Cyberpunk, even on the toughest difficulty, as a full-on combat character, but not have what you would consider one of the combat operating systems. Stick with a cyberdeck. And I would argue it's often the more fun one. Crazy take on the Fallout series. House is going to have blown up the dam. Okay. Yeah, so isn't the Fallout TV series after Fallout New Vegas, right? Do we know for sure House is in season 2? But as nothing but a flashback. I know House appears before the bombs dropped. We see him in before the bombs dropped. Any new games return in series for the channel? I'm currently unable to start anything new. Too much noise going on here. I'm having difficulty playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Fallout TV is 2297. When was Fallout New Vegas? Isn't that about 20 years earlier? Or is it 10 years earlier? It's after Fallout New Vegas, right? Have we seen House in the post-war scenes, not the pre-war scenes? Because I'm wondering if House being alive is now canon. Is the TV series going to be considered canon? I would guess it is. FNV is 2281. Show is 2077. No. The bombs are 2077, right? House has not been... We've not seen House post-war then, right? So we've not seen him post-war. So we don't know... And Todd has said TV is canon, so we don't know if House is canon. If House being alive at the end of New Vegas game is canon. But if he appears post-war in the TV series, it will confirm that House being alive is canon. FO3, 2277, New Vegas, 2281. Yeah, that's right. So the TV series is a good while after. Sorry, show is 2096, but it's bits from 2077. No, I think you're missing a 2 there. Yeah, 2296. Yeah. And we keep seeing flashbacks for just before the bombs dropped, right? And I think we've seen House before the bombs dropped. We definitely have seen that in the trailer or some of the footage, but we've not seen him in his little pod capsule. So we don't know if he's alive or not. I wonder if they'll cover that. I feel like they've got to. I feel like they've got to. But wait a minute. Shady Sands is gone. In the TV series, what's the status of the NCR? I hadn't really thought about that too much. Brotherhood we've seen. NCR, not so much. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? If House wins in Fallout New Vegas, both the Legion and the NCR get stopped. If the Legion wins, I don't know what that would mean 20 years later. But if the Brotherhood have managed to, like, I get the feeling that the Legion wouldn't be too much trouble for the current state of the Brotherhood. But it's difficult to know, isn't it? I feel like had the Legion been spreading that long, we'd have seen something. Legion is in post-war scenes with Lucy in the trailer. Yeah, but like, I feel like we would have heard something like in season 1 if the Legion had... Mind you, maybe the Legion... I mean, the Legion ending could be canon. I just sort of feel like because we've not really... It could just be that they felt no need to mention it in the first season. So yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating. We've got to try and figure out. Isn't the strip overrun with death claws? I mean, this is an option, but then what would that mean? Who would have won if it's overrun by death claws? I mean, it could be... Yeah. None of the endings are canon. I mean, that, of course, is an option, of course. That is an option. I would find that a little difficult to square, though. We're going to New Vegas, right? Spitfire Gaming. We're going to New Vegas in Season 2. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be really hard if we go in that area for us to not get some inkling as to which ending. Legion could still exist. Caesar would be dead from his brain tumor. Right. But if they'd taken the dam... Mind you, I suppose there's no... I mean, we don't know what would have happened if they'd taken the dam, I guess. I just assume that had they taken the dam, there would have been a... I would have thought they'd get mentioned quite a bit in the first series. Todd has stated he doesn't want to canonize anything in the ending of New Vegas. All right, but I mean, honestly? Could it be the... I mean... They might go with nobody really won, but they mostly annihilated each other, hence the strip being taken over. I mean, you could argue that any of the endings could have been, oh yeah, they win, but then they get wiped out by some other faction, and then Deathclaws move in. It could just be, we don't know who wins, but we do know they didn't hold the dam for very long before getting their asses kicked, and the whole place is a mess. I suppose they could do it, couldn't they? I suppose they could do it, now that I think about it. I'm gonna guess they will try their best to not bring up the courier. Yeah, I mean, I feel like bringing up the protagonist from any of the games could be... I mean, it could be amusing, but it could also be problematic lore-wise. The city of New Vegas wasn't really important. The main goal was always the dam. That's also true. whoever took the dam might not have cared about New Vegas. And if New Vegas has got death claws all over it, that would suggest House definitely didn't win. So it could have been, yeah. Wow, they're really looking to milk the noobs right now. You can get all the Fallout games and DLC for under 44 USD. The anniversary edition is $155 US. Hello, what? I'm sorry, it's how much? The anniversary edition of Fallout, what, is this New Vegas? 155? No. You cannot be telling the truth. Or is that of Fallout 4? Even that's ridiculous. Oh, is it a box set? Oh, you think the Brotherhood might have got the dam? I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? There was a small bunch of Brotherhood in that area. If they managed to, the only way the Brotherhood survive, how do you can make peace with the NCR to get the Brotherhood to survive, right? Yes Men ending, the Brotherhood could survive there. I mean, it could be canon that Brotherhood gets wiped out and maybe the other Brotherhood came to New Vegas for retribution. I mean, there's so many options. The more I think about it, the more I realize we can't assume anything. It's a box set. Right, yeah, box set costing, that's a bit more reasonable. Less of a panic. Yeah, if the NCR won, no guarantee they would protect the city. Very true, and no guarantee they'd still be around to be protecting the dam. I mean, let's face it, the NCR, look to be somewhat on the old back foot. I mean, if Shady Sands is gone, what state is NCR in? I bet the statue will fall apart within a day or something. Yeah, all merchandise is like that. House cannot live. That excludes 3 endings of the game. Well, yeah, but I mean, well, if he does live, we know that that's the canon ending. If he doesn't, it opens 3 other endings. But what we're thinking is, could it be possible that we don't even get to see and find out? I mean, hear me out. The war over the dam occurs, right? Everyone's going in there. It doesn't matter whether you go with Yes Men or House. You go in with House and you fight the Legion, and then the NCR shows up. It is possible that whoever won, it doesn't matter. It all ends up with everyone still fighting each other. And 2 or 3 years later, the whole thing falls apart again. I mean, they might write it in such a way that we don't know who won the initial battle, but it went on and on and on, and eventually, I don't know. Shady Sands is gone 4 years before New Vegas. Was the NCR not in decline in New Vegas? And now the TV series is saying Shady Sands was gone before New Vegas, right? You think Mr. House survives no matter what because Mr. House we killed was fake. That's a possibility as well. Caslow is absolutely in love with the idea that the dam gets wiped out. I mean, hey, did we see the dam in any of the trailers? We've got to remember the house always wins. You need to smack yourself, the swordsman. You need to smack yourself. Oh dear. The blackboard in the show is just full on wrong. Which blackboard? Oh, was it a blackboard showing some history that didn't happen? I hate to be the one to break it to you. That sometimes reflects real life. The fall of Shady Sands happened in 2077, not it being blown up. Todd said the destruction happened after the events of New Vegas. Ah, right. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really bother me too much. I'm going to wait and see. I enjoyed the first series. Probably going to enjoy the second. I'm going to get out of here because I'm absolutely knackered, guys. I've been doing this for 2 hours. The winner writes history. This is very true. And then often rewrites it, and then forgets it, and then gets it wrong. Anyway, ladies, gents, I don't know when I'm going to be streaming next because this Sunday is the Mexican Grand Prix. So my streaming schedule's all over the place at the moment. It is all over the place. But I'm going to get out of here. Sorry there wasn't as much Fallout as I thought there was going to be. I thought there was going to be a lot more, maybe some announcements and showcases of stuff, and I was expecting a bit more. I wasn't expecting much, but I was expecting a bit more than what we got. What we got was Happy Birthday Fallout. I suppose they should have expected that. I think next year, that's what I'm going to expect. Happy Birthday Fallout. And isn't this nice? It's fine. It's fine to have Happy Birthday Fallout. You know. But still. Anyway, so Sunday, not so sure. Thursday, next Thursday, definitely back with Che, Grounded 2. It will continue. I will see you guys there. Thank you for joining me for this just ramble stream where we talked about pretty much everything and nothing all at the same time. I enjoyed it. So, thank you very much. Good night.